Hello, Ghosties. You're listening to Not My Ghost.
Not My Problem. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jen.
Whether you're a skeptic, a true believer, or somewhere in between, join us for a journey into the unknown.
Because remember, when it comes to the paranormal, it may not be our problem,
but it's certainly someone's problem. Our guest today has conjured a whole new identity from the dust and darkness, summoning the spirit of rebellion, power, and transformation. She's a rock sorceress, a queen of the underworld soundscape, and a voice that echoes like a spell in the night. She walks among us as Lilith Czar. Prepare yourself, because when Lilith speaks, the shadows listen.
Hello! So, first of all, that intro is the most beautiful intro I think I've ever had for anything of all time. I hope that I can live up to it. I would love for you to write my eulogy at some point if if needed. So, thank you very much for that glowing review.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Thank you for agreeing to come hang out with us and do this episode.
Absolutely.
With us.
You know, when Kelly told me that you guys had this podcast and she kind of gave me a summary of what you guys talk about, it's right directly in line with the things that I love to talk about and the things that I love to listen to. Like my podcast, if you look at my Spotify or my Amazon Music, like history, it's everything having to do with true crime, horror, lore, spooky stuff, you name it. So I was like, put me on, please. You don't understand. This is my favorite thing.
Well, the funny thing about that is after you had said, hey, I should probably be on the podcast, right? Like maybe I should come on the podcast. I was like, absolutely. When we were done talking, I walked into the other room and I looked at my husband and I said, Lilith is going to be on our podcast. And he goes, oh my God, what? How did that happen? I'm like, I don't know, but this is really big. This is really big.
And then you FaceTimed me and told me. And I was like, why is Kelly?
Yeah.
Usually Kelly doesn't call without like pretext. Like usually she'll text me or something.
Schedule,
and like we'll set up a time to talk.
To schedule, to set up a meeting, to
exactly.
set up a meeting.
I am a millennial, so, you know, talking on the phone is not usually my thing, though I can do it with my besties. But she calls me, and I'm, like, assuming that someone's dead.
Cold call.
And I'm like, what's wrong? And she's just, like, freaking out. I'm like, oh, my God, that is so exciting. So
that's a big, big compliment. I appreciate that. But, you know, the feeling is mutual.
Yeah.
For me, I'm such a fan of this world and, you know, being a part of an up-and-coming podcast to me is very exciting. So I, too, after we got off of our call, Kelly, I was like, I'm going to be on like a paranormal spooky podcast, babe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I love it.
Well, welcome listeners to our scripted, unscripted banter. We do have a question. So our question today that we are all going to answer is, what is your ultimate nope? The paranormal thing that would make you run without looking back.
Oh.
And I can go first if you guys need some time to think, because I had some time to think already.
Okay.
So mine would be in any of those like possession demon movies, if the things happen that actually happen in those movies. If I saw somebody literally start to like fucking levitate and spin or do something crazy. Like I'm just been rewatching Conjuring and the Insidious series because spooky season. And you know, there's a lot of that in those movies. And I think if that would be my thing. There's not many things that would make me nope the fuck out of there, but that would be one of them, where if somebody actually started like physically levitating and spinning and talking in Latin, that type of shit, I'd be like, no, I'm out. Sorry,
done. I mean, that would be horrifying. And I mean, as long as you caught it on camera, so you could, you could
Yes.
otherwise
Right.
it didn't happen.
That's fair.
Right.
That's fair. I would try to force myself to stay and at least record it for like a couple of seconds, and then I would
Yeah,
nope
sure,
out.
sure, sure. Yeah, that's a good one. I think I used to have this reoccurring dream when I was little where I would look out my bedroom window and I would see just a silhouette of a man standing in
Nope.
the street.
Oh, no, you can't do that because now I want to break out into song about a silhouette of a man.
By all means, the stage is yours.
That's all that's running through my head right now.
So,
Yeah.
yes, and that
Oh,
song
I'm
would
sorry.
start
Go ahead.
playing, and that was my dream.
Oh.
So, yeah, no, and it was like a very scary dream, and it was reoccurring. I mean, I've had that dream, I would say probably a good 10 plus times in my life. And yeah, very horrifying. So I feel like my nope is either looking out the window and seeing somebody just like a silhouette of a human just staring at your window, or like seeing the silhouette of somebody in a reflection behind you,
Yeah.
or like,
Jen said that.
or knocking.
Oh, the
Yeah.
knocking. Yeah.
Like, not
Okay.
like,
The knock's coming 3 and you can't
well,
knock
Yeah.
right.
back.
So I think that would
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
me nope. I would just yeet myself into the sun. Just launch myself into the sun.
It's it's a little difficult for me because I have had 2 moments where I felt like I couldn't be somewhere.
Yeah.
One was when I was on a tour of Edinburgh Manor with my husband and my daughter Katie, and I had kind of broken away from the tour, and there was this hallway that I recognized from a
Yeah.
paranormal show that we watched. And I was like, it was dark, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna walk down there." And I was trying to walk down there, but my body would not move. It was like, "No." And I don't know exactly what that was, but later on when we went down that room with the whole group, I got scratched on the back of my neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. I feel like okay, that's ooh, your like so yours, if I saw somebody levitating and spinning, I would be like, "What?" I would be so this is incredible. But the idea of coming out with like, where did I get that? That's that's yeah.
Yeah. And then I did get scratched again at Penhurst, and
She did.
Jen and I walked into a room there, and we're walking into these rooms all weekend. And we walked into this one particular room, and as soon as we walked in, I was like, "I gotta leave. I gotta get out of here right now. I gotta go." And she was like, "What?" No, I'm like, "Out now. I gotta go.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it. I just knew
Yeah,
I
where
couldn't
you're
be in
picking
there.
up on something.
But if I had to do something like visual, I guess if I saw a stereotypical demon-like
Yeah.
creature just appear, like, in front of me,
Yeah.
that I'd
I
probably
feel
be
like the
out.
scariest things for me are the things that are the most real, like the things that could
Mhm.
definitely happen. Like I find that in horror movies, some of the things that scare me the most are the things that could happen. So,
Right. Instead of the
Right.
crazy stuff that they depict
right.
sometimes.
I have to be careful watching true crime because I suffer from anxiety, and true crime is shit that people actually do to other
Right.
human beings. And there's no removal of kind of like maybe this isn't in reality versus
It's a
this is
real
what
life
happens.
nightmare,
Yeah.
real life horror
Mhm.
scenario or story. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why I go back, Jen, I go back to if I saw somebody levitating, I'd be like, how do I get on your level? This look awesome. That's true. I guess that's true. So
Lilith's like, I could use this in a video.
it's
Fucking
How are you
awesome.
doing
Yeah.
that?
And then the same, you said that you didn't want to see somebody like behind you in a
yeah.
mirror. Well, that has happened to me at Kelly's old house. I saw a full body apparition of a man in her bathroom. And When I think about that, like someone just telling me that was gonna happen to me, I feel like I would say, "No, I would nope the fuck out of
Yeah.
there." But I
Yeah.
didn't. I peed because I had to, so I continued into the bathroom and did my business, and then I came back out, and I looked at Kelly, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I just saw the man in your bathroom."
Dude,
Yeah, and she described him.
Yeah, when it actually happens, you react differently than what you think you
I know
might.
how I react when my fear kicks in because, Andy and I are often he's touring or I'm touring. We're not always together. I don't always have a male presence here to protect my tiny little female fragile body. Uh, so there's been a number of times where I thought somebody broke into the house or I thought somebody was inside the house.
Mhm.
And the voice that comes out of me when I'm scared, first of all, I actually have like stations throughout the house. I have mace, I have bats, I have like weapons hidden throughout the house.
I love that.
Just in case. You never know, where you're gonna be when you need to like throw nunchucks at somebody's face.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
The few times that I thought somebody was in the house or had broken in, the boisterous, like male, I don't know what comes out of me, but I become like the Hulk. I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna haunt me? I will haunt you. You came in here to murder me, I will murder you back. I'm not in here with you, you are in here with me." Like, it is so
Yeah.
yeah,
I have a funny story about that. My husband works
yeah,
a rotating shift, so he's
okay.
gone at night sometimes. And recently he was gone at work, and my other daughter and her husband who live here, they were away at a convention for the weekend. So it was just me and my youngest daughter, Katie, in the house. And we're laying in bed, my bed, watching TV, and we hear what sounds like the front door open and close. And even our cat, Apollo, was laying on top of me,
No,
and
that's the
Apollo
sign.
looked. And I was like, so, right. Like,
Yeah,
I'm like, the
yeah.
cats heard it, right? So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I'm trying to find my husband's bat and he moved it and I
You
don't know
need
where it is. And
multiple.
I'm like,
That's
great. So I'm like inching down the stairs. Now we have stairs that like you go down and then what is it? A
mm,
little landing
Yeah.
and then you
yeah.
turn and go down again. So on the stairs, I have my dad's guitar that he always played. And I look at Katie and I'm like, what are we going to do? So I pick up my dad's guitar and I'm holding it over my shoulder
Yeah,
like a bat. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, if I have to break my dad's guitar on some asshole breaking into my house, I'm going to be
Yeah.
so upset
You're just
because nobody has played that guitar since my dad died.
yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm looking down at Katie's. Oh my God, we're pathetic. We have no idea what the noise was, by the way. No, we searched the house. Nobody
Oh
was
my
in the house,
gosh.
but
Well,
yeah. So
yeah,
that was
your
my
probably
dad was
weapon.
with you for
probably
a
one of your
moment.
many haunted dolls.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you
Mhm.
have
Yeah.
Kelly, you do have, you know, haunted
I do.
haunted pieces.
I
So,
do.
I think that, if you're willing to own something that is said to be haunted or is haunted, kind of you're inviting the door to open and close.
Yes.
Well, as I feel like with my dolls, I'm used to the activity
Mhm.
that they
Yeah.
do. So a lot of times things will happen that you're just kind of like, yeah,
Now,
okay, whatever.
do they do anything that's, like, helpful? Like, clean the house? That's my kind of,
No.
haunted
God, I
dolls. I
wish.
come home and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for doing
Thank you. Yeah, for
Thanks
doing
for
that,
folding the
cleaning it out.
laundry. I really
You're earning
appreciate
your
it.
Thank you for scrubbing that toilet. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, before before we really get
Yeah.
dive into the episode, do you want to share where our ghosties can find your music, follow your work, and check everything out that you
Sure,
have
yeah.
coming up?
All streaming platforms under Lilith Czar, Lilithczar. I find that I need to spell my name often for newbies because it's been a thing, a running misspelling in the past where people have referred to me as Lil Caesar Lilith Czar. Yeah.
Little
Oh,
Caesars.
the amount of green rooms I've walked into on tour, and they have your name above your green room. Lilith Czar, Lil Caesar, which is my rap name. So I'm spelling it out for all the newbies so they know. But yeah, you can find me on all streaming platforms and all social media, Lilith Czar. And I have a new song that I just released a couple months ago called Popsicle. And I have a new song actually coming out around Halloween. So it'll be around this episode.
Ooh,
Yay!
Yay. And
yay.
it's very much in theme with Halloween and what we're doing here. So it couldn't be more perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah. To coincide with. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll tag your socials in our social post on this episode
Cool.
as well.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
yeah. Well, now we're going to get into our facts. So for every episode, we do some fun facts and some scary facts. So our first fun fact about Lilith is that Lilith Czar first gained widespread attention as a contestant on The Voice season 2, where her powerhouse vocals and unique style impressed both the judges and viewers alike. She finished in second place, showcasing her incredible talent to a national audience and laying the foundation for her successful music career.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah,
This is gonna be awkward as we talk about how wonderful
I
you
know.
are right in
I'm
front of you.
finding I'm
It will
I'm
a little
finding
bit.
myself fidgeting a little. I'm like, oh, she's not that sounds nice. Yeah. So, The Voice was something I decided to do after years and years of touring and putting out records with my band Automatic Love Letter. The Voice actually came to me. This was at the tail end of Vans Warped Tour 2011 and asked me if I wanted to be on the show. And I thought to myself, I always prided myself in being the type of artist and musician that was like, I'm gonna, garage band and we're gonna suck for years and we're gonna play shitty venues where you're gonna pick up all types of diseases from and like we're gonna sleep. I'm a sleeping van. Like I was like that person, but I did it. I did it for a long time. And I was like, you know what? I'll I'll dip my toe into this pool and see how I feel. So, in truth, the entire time I was preparing to be on the show and while I was on the show, the entire time I was like, I don't know if I should be doing this. I don't, yeah, I did. I did. I had this like real struggle and battle with, is this going to completely demolish the grassroots, organic, real way of quote unquote trying to make it. And yeah, even before what do they call it? The chair swivel episodes. You're at the show, they have you held up in hotels for weeks at a time. I was struggling. I actually almost had to be pushed
Mm.
out onto stage for my first performance when I sang "Oh Darling" because that was the moment.
Oh,
That
wow.
was, okay, now the cameras are
Yeah.
really gonna be filming you. It's for real. And I
Right.
was standing in the little hallway that leads to the stairs to go onto stage, and one of the directors was like, "Okay, you're up." And I was looking at her and I was like, "I don't oh my god." And she's like, "You're up. You have to." And I was like, I kind of blacked out. I'm not even kidding. I
Yeah.
kind of like did the performance, and while I'm singing, I'm like, you could just walk off the stage right now." It's just like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And then the rest is history. I'm
Yeah.
grateful. After that performance, I said, okay, I'm in it. Now I'm on a team. And I told myself, I want second place. I don't want to win. And
Okay.
the reason I didn't wanna win is one, I think that the deals that you get if you win, they tie you like, they kind of own your ass for a long time.
Right.
So I didn't want that, and I don't know. I think I just didn't want to have the billboard of voice winner,
Yeah.
something that
Right.
was what I was known for, I guess. But cut to doing the show and becoming the runner up, and then I was a household name. It was like, "Oh, you're Juliet Simms from The Voice." It was it didn't really matter if I had
Right.
won or not won. In fact, like, throughout the years, I have been approached, people saying, "Oh, you won season 2 of The Voice," and I'm like, "Nope, didn't win," but but I've also gotten like, "Oh, you won the X Factor. You won American Idol."
Yeah.
"Yep, that was me." "No,
Nope.
sure."
Yeah.
Oh, I just say yes at this point. I go, "Yeah, that was me."
Yeah.
And so, after finishing that show, I was kind of pigeonholed into that was who I was. That was what
Okay.
I was known for. The all my entire career leading up to that had kind of felt like it had been erased. And quite honestly, it
Mhm.
felt like my identity had been erased. That was what I was known for. And so it took many, many years to figure out how I was going to separate myself from that. And part of that was rebranding, changing the name, the style of music, so on and so forth, creating the
Yeah.
whole entire campaign that I had written and come up with to kill off Juliet Simms in a music video, and then this whole transformation into Lilith Czar. And so I
Yeah.
eventually got there, but it with great, you know, uh, effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fascinating. You don't always think about when you're watching those shows, kind of some of the repercussions. And I've always thought that too about like because I used to watch like American Idol, The Voice. I actually probably watched season 2. Not that I remember it very well because
It was 1,000 years ago too, so
it also was 1,000 years ago. Yeah, but I definitely always thought about that, about how, like, the winners are kind of
Oh,
stuck for a
mhm.
while with that reputation, and
Yeah.
I feel like you don't get a ton of, like, super successful people that I mean, there's a handful, obviously,
No,
but
I think
there's not as considering how many there are, how many winners and just other talented people that have been on those shows, you would think that a lot more would be really, really
The
successful, but
Voice, in my opinion, has never really created like a Kelly Clarkson or a
but
Carrie Underwood, and no, they've never really created that. I mean, there are artists that have used it as kind of a trampoline or to catapult, like Melanie Martinez has done very well for herself. Actually, I really love this. I have recently seen a girl that was on my season has become like a huge country star, and I'm
oh,
so
wow.
happy
Oh,
for her.
cool.
Her name's Raylan, and she was on my
Oh,
season.
I have heard of
Yeah,
her.
she's killing it, and I'm so fucking happy to see that because she was very young at the time. Like, I think she was, like, 15 or something, and
Oh,
she was the sweetest. Like, this girl, not a mean bone in her body, just walked her like, she was just a daisy that just, like, walked around and brightened your life, and so I'm just very happy to see that she's actually turned it
yeah,
into something great. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
the
that.
winners do get pigeonholed, and we also, like, I had this is no secret, but I had a tremendously difficult time with the record label after The Voice where they were pushing me to be pop for years. Like, I was with them for, I think, about 2
Yeah,
years, and it was the entire time was just contention and trying to pressure and, essentially at times bully me into releasing pop music and not rock, which is
yeah,
what I was known for on the show. It, again, made no sense.
Right.
Anyways, I could talk about that for a long time, guys. It's a
Yeah.
loaded topic.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
Okay,
get through these facts, though. You go ahead
yeah.
and do the next one, Jen.
Our next fun fact is Lilith's single, "Anarchy," soared to the #1 spot on the Billboard mainstream rock
Mhm.
chart, marking a significant milestone in her solo career. Additionally, her other tracks like "King" and "100 Little Deaths" have amassed millions of streams across platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, underscoring her growing influence in the rock music scene.
Okay. When Anarchy, first of all, when that album came out, I just had goosebumps the whole time listening to it. But when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I thought Anarchy is our song. It's our anthem
Yeah.
as women. That song meant a lot to me. Like, even with my daughters, I was like,
Yeah.
this is your anthem, like, going forward.
That's such a compliment, Kelly. Thank you.
But your video for 100 Little Deaths was so fucking powerful of a message.
Yeah.
I was like, this is outstanding. And listeners, you're just going to have to go to YouTube and watch the video.
Yeah, please do.
Please
do.
understand.
Thank you,
Go watch
Kelly.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, part of my reasoning and inspiration and motivation to become Lilith was entirely based on the fact that I felt my sort of purpose in life was to help people. That's what more, like what more can we do in life that is greater than helping each other out and helping one another out? And being in the
Absolutely.
industry has been so tremendously painful at times that the thing that I focus on and hold on to is like, well, even if it's not the masses or you're the biggest star in the world, you are helping whoever is listening to your music, you're helping. And that is the thing that I have held on to. And that is why I wanted to pivot so much into Lilith and just start to really reach listeners on a deeper level than I was with Juliet Simms and with Automatic Love Letter. And so hearing what you just said about Anarchy and 100 Little Deaths and King, there's no better gift. Like it just makes me go, okay, you're doing exactly what you've set out to do. And so thank you so much for that compliment.
Oh, you're welcome. And there is no funner song to sing than King.
Oh, yeah. I love King.
Yes, she big mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and I'm very excited for you guys to hear the next song. The next song is it's a banger, and she real mad too.
Awesome. I love it.
Wait. Cannot wait. Okay, our last fun fact is Lilith Czar not only performs her music with powerful vocals, but also writes much of her own material, showcasing her skills as a songwriter. She crafts lyrics that are deeply personal, yet universally relatable, blending storytelling with emotion in a way that draws listeners into her world. Her songwriting demonstrates a mastery of both musical composition and lyrical expression, making her work resonate long after the music stops.
This is the greatest podcast / chat I've ever had in my life. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Of course. We have some scary facts too. Well,
We
spooky.
do.
I don't know that
Spooky,
scary
okay.
is. Lilith Czar joined the Trinity of Terror tour in 2022, a rock tour known for its horror-inspired theatrics. With headlines like Ice Nine Kills and Black Veil Brides, the tour's dark gothic stage design and dramatic lighting created a spine-chilling atmosphere.
Every night I was living out my goth dreams.
Oh, and then, of course, our second one is about 100 Little Deaths, which is, like I said, so powerful. In the music video for 100 Little Deaths, Lilith Czar portrays a haunting, surreal narrative. The video's dark aesthetic and symbolic elements contribute to its reputation as one of her most visually striking and conceptually rich works.
Yes, it's very much, that was my intention and idea behind that music video was I wanted something that felt and looked like From Dusk Till Dawn.
Awesome.
I wanted it to be grainy and grindhouse and horror based. And then coming up with that character and the whole, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen the video yet, but
Right.
I was going for something spooky.
And it worked.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And our third fact, Lilith Czar chose her stage name inspired by the mythological Lilith, a figure tied to night, mystery, and rebellion. In folklore, Lilith is sometimes portrayed as a demon, sometimes as a symbol of untamed feminine power, mirroring Lilith Czar's own hauntily bold reinvention to her gothic persona.
On the money.
Those are our facts about Lilith.
I love it.
Yes.
Very well done.
So we kind of already talked a little bit about how you came to be on the podcast, but if our ghosties are wondering how I ended up speaking to you at
Mhm.
all, is because I joined your
Yes.
Patreon. Do you want to let them know what
Yeah.
the
So,
link
yeah,
is for
for
that?
sure. It's patreon.com/Lilith Czar. I started it in May of this year. I felt that I wanted to provide a fun and safe space, not only for my fans and people who listen to my music, but for myself as well. I've had a tumultuous relationship with social media. I mean, it's been beautiful and wonderful, don't get me wrong, at times, but as we all know, social media and the internet is not built for sensitive people.
No.
This is not negating the wonderful things that I have gotten from social media, but I just felt like I was finding myself, kind of pulling myself back a bit from public social media, feeling uncomfortable or feeling not very safe at times and judged a lot. And I was kind of tired of the misconceptions that were out there or stories that people would make up, just kind of being told my life and told who I am or what I am or whatever it was. So I haven't completely left. I pop in occasionally, but I wanted to start a Patreon because I felt like that's where I wanted to put out my thoughts, feelings, fun videos, demos, poems, things that I have in my arsenal that I just didn't feel comfortable putting out on social media. And that is how I met Kelly.
And might I add, one of the best parts of it is the
Yeah.
cat videos.
Whoa. Look, the only things I take pictures of because I do not document my life. I take pictures when I'm in the studio or shooting something for one of my songs, or I take videos of my cats. That's like the
Yeah.
extent of what my camera roll is. And so that's
Well,
fair.
the cats and the video of you putting the duvet cover on how that worked out, how that ended up
I
working
am
out blew my mind. I was like, "What kind of sorcery is this? This is absolutely
I
insane."
shocked myself with that. Okay, so I'm not gonna take full credit for the beginning idea of it. I actually got that from one of my favorite horror movies, which is called Barbarian. And in the beginning
Mhm.
of the movie, the two characters are putting a bed together. I don't want to give anything away. And he uses this method of putting a comforter inside a duvet. And so I thought, I'm going to give that a shot. But because it's a Alaskan king size comforter and I'm not a 6'5" male, realized halfway through that that's not gonna work, and so magically, I did, like, some somersault. I don't know how it worked out.
I don't know either. The best part is that Andy is standing there like, "What are you
No,
doing?
I know,
What is what how is this
and I
gonna
was like,
work?"
"Just trust
And
me."
and it worked, man. That's the things that make the Patreon worth it is we know you as your music and like to getting to see those little personal bits,
Yeah.
just you and Andy putting on a duvet cover or the cats doing what the cats
Yeah.
do. And those little glimpses are
Yeah, and I
nice.
wanted to be able to
Yeah.
share that side of mine and Andy's home life is just goof central. It's
Right.
just goofiness, and I felt like, people think that we're so serious because from our music videos and our photo shoots, we're always so, serious, you know? So
So
I wanted to be able to, share this side of ourselves with you all.
Well, I am also a patron of The Andy Show, which is Lilith's husband's
Yeah.
podcast. And her husband is in a band, Black Veil Brides. And when I first started watching The Andy Show, I was a little, oh my gosh, he is just a
Yeah.
goofball. It's such a
The
different
dichotomy
contrast
for
between
sure.
like, yeah, it's like, oh, this is great. Like, and the same with you. It's like the silliness and the humanity
Yeah.
in it.
Right. Yeah.
Where it's not like I'm performing. This is just like the humanity in
Right.
those
Yeah.
moments.
We're
Yeah.
just real people wanting to laugh in life, and
Yep.
we're soft as hell. you know?
Yep.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, and the
So
community that you can build on Patreon is great. I mean, I know our Patreon community is small but mighty. We
Yeah.
have 4 whole members,
That's huge.
and,
4
we
whole
love it.
patrons.
Yeah, and we create a, like, Patreon exclusive Discord page where we, like, just chat with our 4 members and, just about we have, like, a page where they can go on and rant if they had a bad day, and then we have, like, a witchy page where we can share, like, spells and talk about crystals and the episode chat, so it's just a lot of fun and really allows you to kinda build that relationship with your fans.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it.
So the tier that I joined, I got to have like a 20-minute FaceTime once a month with Lilith. And the very first one, we were talking about horror and like just we both love horror movies. And then I just mentioned that we had the podcast. And at the end, she did say, she was like, I should be on your podcast. And I was like, yes, absolutely, you should.
I invited
Um,
myself onto your podcast.
Totally
which is
okay.
totally okay.
Yes.
I was like, yes, you absolutely should be on my podcast. Yes. Thank you. Yes, you should. Yes.
Yeah. 'Cause I definitely asked
So
Kelly when she told me, I said, "How did you trick Lilith to
Oh my
wanting to
god.
be on our podcast? How did
yeah.
that happen?"
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh, yeah. So that is how we ended up with you here
Yep.
today.
Well, look, again, when I say that I'm like into podcasts relating to this theme, I've found podcasts before anybody else was listening to them. Like My Favorite Murder and Crime Junkie and Morbid and like,
Love Morbid.
oh, Morbid is fantastic. Lore, Mr. Ballin. Like, there's a lot of podcasts that I have found before anybody else was listening to them. And so, because I'm such a fan of discovering podcasts before anybody else gets their greedy little hands all over it, I saw this as an opportunity to be
Yeah.
like, mine.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to be a part of this one.
Yay.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah.
that. That's
And we
yeah.
love it.
That's what our
Yeah.
our first, Patreon donor, Danny, she kinda said that, so we met her like, Kelly and I had just started the podcast, it was last
Just
summer,
started.
Okay.
and we had maybe had, like, 2 episodes out at this point, and she was coming to visit, and we went out, I live in St. Augustine, so we went out and did a ghost tour in downtown St. Augustine, and there was this bachelorette party that was there that we kind of, like, started talking to and chatting with, and by, like, the second stop of the ghost tour, like, we had told them that we had just started this podcast, and the bride, Danny, literally got out her phone and subscribed to be our first Patreon member literally that day, like, before she had even
On
listened
the
to a
tour.
single episode,
Yeah.
and
Oh
we've
my
just had that
god.
connection with her since, so I love it.
That's
And let me tell
lovely.
you, they fully and it just brought us right into their bachelorette
They
party.
did.
Like
Yeah.
we were partied with
Oh
them all
my
night.
We did.
It was
So
so
great.
much
That's
fun.
amazing.
It was so much
Oh,
fun.
I love
Yeah.
women. Women rule.
Yeah.
That's really cool story. I love that.
So you just wanna dive right into the movies now, Kelly?
Sure.
Okay. So you wanna go first?
So one of the things that Lilith and I were talking about was our love of horror movies, and she mentioned a movie that she really likes that I really liked that apparently Jen has no taste in movies about because Jen did not like at all.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
I want to know why. Are you talking about?
So, As Above,
Okay.
So Below is the name of the movie, and I'm just going to give a quick little plot summary. So, a team of explorers and a grad student ventures into the Paris catacombs to find the Philosopher's Stone.
Harry Potter vibes.
Yep, totally.
They become trapped in the catacombs, encountering supernatural horrors that reflect their own fears sins, and past actions. The
Mm.
movie explores a descent into the underworld, blending historical setting with supernatural and psychological terror. So, some background about it: the Paris catacombs are extensive underground tunnels stretching over 200 miles, originally used to house human remains from overcrowded cemeteries in the 18th century. That's so gross.
Yeah.
The catacombs have a long history of urban legends, ghost stories, and eerie occurrences. The film incorporates alchemical symbols, markings, and esoteric references, connecting the catacombs to historical, mystical, and occult practices. As above, so below philosophy is the idea that one's internal state reflects their external reality. The explorer's personal sins manifest as horrors in the catacombs. Descending into the catacombs mirrors confronting one's inner fears, guilt, and
Mhm.
past.
How did you not love that movie? Okay, so here are my thoughts.
Okay.
One, I'm not usually a fan of found footage.
Sure. I understand
So
that.
that kind of throws me off a little bit. It's just,
Nauseating.
it kind of gives me a headache. Yeah, a little nauseating when you're watching. So
Yeah.
there's that. But I tried to look past that. You know, as a kid, I did actually enjoy the Blair Witch Project movies. I haven't watched them in years. I probably
I
would
don't
hate
think
them
they would
now
stand the
because
test
I'm
of
so much.
time. Yeah. There's better.
Yeah, I'm so much more critical now that I'm like, I would hate it. But I did like it when I was like younger.
Yeah.
But I just felt there were just so many, like, the characters were underdeveloped. I feel like you barely learned anything about them,
Uh-huh.
and you were just kind of thrown into it, and I don't know, there was just, I get what it was trying to do, but I just didn't love it.
So Jen is the audience on Rotten Tomatoes that has made the movie at like 24% Rotten Tomatoes, which by the way, it used to be 14%. It has since risen. I discovered this movie like pretty much right when it came out, and it had, I don't even think it had a tomato meter yet. And I have advocated for this movie from the moment I watched it. And that it deserves so much more love than it gets. I see what you're saying about the underdevelopment of the characters. I find that it feels very real. Like if I find that like, okay, if you're gonna do a documentary and you're just gonna start filming rather than like, rather than our standard documentaries that we watch this day and age where people sit down and you learn about their backstory and who they are and blah, 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 blah. But if you're just going to start documenting something, a journey, you're going to learn about the people in real time rather than have character building. It's going to build
Yeah.
through. For me, I felt like the character building happened throughout the movie, and you understood more about these people's roles and who they were as the journey went on,
Yeah.
if that makes
I just
sense.
also feel like there was a lot of, like, forced jump scares too that I think just kinda dominated, and I personally, none of them jump scared me as I was watching them
Yeah.
because I was ready, like, after we had met to, like, discuss what we were gonna talk about on the podcast,
Yeah.
I was ready because you guys gave this movie, like, really high praises, and I had never seen it.
Yeah.
So I went in
Yeah.
with these really super high expectations
Yeah.
and just left like,
See,
"No, this
And then
didn't
I
meet
get a
them."
text message. I get a text message from Jen that goes, "So you
that's
liked this
so funny.
movie?"
For me, this movie combines everything I love. It's a treasure hunt, so you've got, like, national treasure vibes. It's
Yeah.
You go to hell, like, you literally crawl through the gates of hell. There's magic. There's demonic suggestions. This goes back to things that really scare me in horror movies are
Right.
something that you almost can't make out or suggesting things, like the demons at the end
Mhm.
that you see when they're running, really to m like, in an empty cave space, and you just see this black figure with the and it just quickly look I don't know, something about that makes me crawl in my skin.
Yeah.
And I thought that the story of her carrying on her father's legacy and then discovering it. And then the whole concept of as above, so below, and the twist at the end, kind of ridding yourself, like owning your sins, so to speak, taking responsibility for the thing that you did that is eating you alive. And so you can basically survive hell. I don't know. There's an adventure, there's small spaces. That's another thing that just, oh my God, scares the shit out of me. Going underground, like deep, dark, dark caves underground. There's just elements of that movie that I find I will watch a movie if they just have one of those elements. And so, and it
And
had
it had
all of
all of
I had
them.
all of
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the more you watch it too, I'll say this because I've watched this movie about 15 times because I'm a freak. I don't know, for me, again, it's one of those movies that I can watch over and over and over again, and I go, "Oh, I didn't catch that one time," or
Yeah.
"That makes more sense now."
I think one of the things that threw me the most was, like, they ran into that other person once they got into the catacombs
Yeah.
who was, like, supposed to be like, at first, I had to Google because I wasn't even sure, who is this guy that they're just running into?
So they talked about it earlier.
But yeah, but then they accepted him, like, as just like, this guy has supposedly been lost in these tunnels for, I don't was it months, years? I don't remember the time frame, but they just like, "Okay, yeah, somehow he's still alive, and I think it's a good idea that he joins our group and helps
Sure.
us out."
No, for sure, like, it's sketch as fuck, but what would you do like, he is referenced earlier in the movie as, like,
Yeah.
"No, we don't go that way because if you go that way, like, you don't really come back, bad things happen that way. We had a friend who went there, and then we never saw him again." So they do reference him. So, like, as a horror movie buff, watching it the first time, I immediately go, "Oh, we're gonna meet that guy. We're totally gonna meet that
Yeah.
guy."
Right. Exactly.
So
Y-
when how would you like if I was in their shoes and all of this wild stuff is going on and we are now flipped upside down and wait, no, like that was there before and you're freaking out and then you run into your friend. There was so much chaos. How would you react in that scenario? We don't really know. We don't know if we would
No,
sit
yeah.
him down and go, "Okay, while we're under 100 meters
While we're in
underground,
hell.
yeah, can
Yeah.
you explain
How are you still
like what
alive?
have you been eating? Where are you getting water? Where do you sleep?" I
Yeah.
wouldn't be interested in that. I'd be like,
Yeah.
"We need we'll get to that. Let's
That's fair.
like we're gonna interrogate you once we're breathing fresh air again, but for now,
Okay.
can you help us out?"
I guess, like, I can see that. I think, like, I have just gotten overly critical. Like, I text Kelly yesterday or the day before as I've been watching some more of the horror movies that I used to not want to watch horror movies by myself.
Yeah.
Like, they used to scare me too much. And I think, I don't know if it's just doing this podcast and being more exposed to like spooky shit on a regular basis. Like, I think I can now watch I've watched a lot of horror movies recently by myself and I'm
Yeah.
fine. But I also think I see myself looking at it with a overly critical eye now
Yeah.
of like, that doesn't make sense.
No, for
Like I
sure.
want it all to make sense instead of just being
Well
a Hollywood
well, I
movie.
know. Also, Jen, they're going to find the Philosopher's Stone. Okay, so you have to go into this movie with a grain of salt. They're going in to
Yeah.
find the Holy Grail. So, there's already, like, separation of reality and,
Yes, I know.
like, Harry Potter.
I think, Jen, I think you need to try to turn the tism down a little bit
A little bit.
with
A
movies
little
like
bit.
this.
Yeah. I
I think the
struggle.
autism's getting a
The
little
Walt
bit in your
Disney's.
way with that.
Well, but, like, I do
Mhm.
Yeah.
understand, like, this movie was made for $5. It was on a shoestring budget. So, there's
Yeah.
certainly things that you're like, we could have done that better." But, they're going into retrieving magical stone. It's
Right.
very fair.
So, we watched it during the pandemic when nobody could
Yes.
go anywhere, and all 3 of the girls still lived at home. They were teenagers. We would do every single night, we would watch a horror movie, and Emily usually is the one that would pick them, and she had picked this one. She also picked Barbarian, which, Jen, you have to watch.
I know, it's on my
Okay.
list.
You will
Yeah.
text.
No, you need to put it on the real list. I'm gonna watch
No,
Wednesday
it is
this
really
week.
on my
So
list,
you need to
okay?
really watch Barbarian.
Remember,
Okay.
I said I just got over my fear of watching horror movies alone,
Yeah.
Okay.
so I have been binging horror movies, like, every night this week,
I will
so
tell you this, you'll watch Barbarian and I guarantee you will text Kelly afterwards and you will say that goes down as one of my favorite scary movies ever. It is.
okay.
It is. If you don't like Barbarian, I I I I give up. I give up everything. I
Okay.
give up.
So we'll commit to this, and it's kind of pre-committing, post-committing, time's
Yeah.
weird. We haven't recorded our episode that our listeners have already heard on because this episode we're recording before, but on horror movies in general and like paranormal and movies. So I will make sure before Kelly and I record that episode that I watch Barbarian and I will report on that episode. So our listeners already know my thoughts on Barbarian. I don't know them yet, but our listeners know. So we'll see
Okay.
what happens.
I love it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So my question is,
Yeah,
would
I
you go into the catacombs?
1000%. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
1,000,000%.
same.
Obviously
Definitely.
not alone. I would need a
No.
squad with me, but
Yeah.
I've already, I know that you can only go so far, I think, legally, like it's like a tour, so that's boring. But if I had the opportunity to like illegally go, yeah, I go. I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I would, but I wouldn't be crawling
Oh,
into any small spaces.
no,
No,
I
I can't
know
do that.
the fuck out of there at that point. There's no
Yeah.
going under.
Yeah.
Like I've listened to too many stories about people crawling, like cave exploring, and
Yeah.
no,
I can't watch this video. I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah.
they're just like contouring
Yeah.
and morphing into
Yeah.
the crevice. Like what are
No.
no one's telling you have to do that. No one's making you do that.
Right.
What
Like jump out of an airplane for crying out loud. But what are you
Don't do
doing
The
in
that.
this
only way
cave?
I crawl on my, stomach through something is if my life absolutely depends on it. There's no like,
Mhm.
let's do this for funsies. No,
I
absolutely.
agree. Well,
Okay. Well, the next movie
alrighty.
we are going to talk about is Insidious. I do like these, so we're good. So, just a quick plot summary if any of you are living in a cave and haven't watched this movie. The Insidious franchise focuses on the Lambert family and later other characters who experience terrifying hauntings and malevolent spirits. Central to the story is the concept of the Further, a dark astral dimension where lost souls and entities dwell. The film combines psychological tension, family trauma, and supernatural horror to create layered, memorable scares that go beyond typical jump scares. So it was created by Lee Wanell, I hope I'm saying that right, and directed by James Wan. And the first Insidious film was released in 2010. The franchise includes several sequels and a prequel, including Insidious Chapter 2, Chapter 3, The Last Key, and Insidious The Red Door, expanding the story of the Further and introducing new haunted families. Known for revitalizing the haunted house genre with a focus on supernatural suspense and psychological terror rather than gore, which I appreciate because I'm not a big gore fan, but I love horror
Same.
I
and
agree.
psychological
I
terror.
agree. I
Yeah.
will watch gory movies for sure. I don't count them out, but I find that in your face, like, gore porn, like Terrifier, for instance, I just laugh. That's hilarious to me. Or like slasher movies, sure, they're entertaining enough, but I find the ones that really grip me are the more psychological, ghost,
Absolutely.
demon, scary monsters rather than like, look at me getting my arm ripped off.
Yeah.
I will say that one of my first loves that got me into the paranormal, there was 3 movies in particular. One was The Entity, which I was way too young sitting in the hallway when I was supposed to be asleep while my mom was watching it and watched that movie. Poltergeist, which scared the shit out of me as a kid, but I loved it, and Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Now that is gore, but that was so much a part of not just my favorite movie, but I had two of my friends from high school. Hi, Pam. Hi, Heather. I know you guys listen. And we'd go to Heather's house after school at the end of the school year and just watch all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and, stay up all night and eat pizza and just be
Yep.
teenagers. And
Same, and
that
I have
has,
to quickly sorry, interrupt because that's what I do best, because you called out high school friends, and one of my high school friends recently told me that they were listening to the podcast. So hi, Teresa, if you're still listening, but we also watched Nightmare on Elm Street together and, like, loved it. Like, we would walk to, I think it was Hollywood Video
Yeah.
at the time, that was, like, right by
right.
our
Yeah.
house, and we would rent the movies. One time we would watch it with her little sister who was
Yeah.
terrified, and we both came out with knives on our hands, like
We've
holding
done that.
knives to, like, scare her little sister. So,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Well, maybe I can keep the
Yeah.
trend going, guys, and I can get my high school friends to listen too. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Diana.
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
Sandra.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, but I think that part of the Nightmare on Elm Street thing, it became, while I did love the movies, it just became such a core part of those are some of my best memories of high school. These are my best friends and we're just hanging out. And after we would watch the movie, she had a pool, we'd go out, we'd turn music all the way up and we would swim with it. That was really the
Yeah,
draw to that. And those movies get kind of lumped
absolutely. I
into
mean,
that.
So do you wanna
So,
know the reason that I decided to watch Nightmare on Elm Street? There's only one reason.
why? You love his outfit.
why?
Do
I know
you?
why.
What?
What?
I know why.
Kelly, why?
Johnny Depp.
Yes, you do know
Johnny
why.
Depp.
Oh my gosh.
I know you. Are you kidding me? I am your
Of
best friend.
course. I mean, Johnny Depp
Yeah.
back in his eh, ugh, that is a reason to
80s.
watch a
Woohoo.
scary movie for
Mhm.
sure. Yeah.
I was sad that he did
Yeah.
get sucked into the bed, but, spoilers. If you haven't watched this, if you
Oh,
haven't watched it
yeah,
by
then
now, come on, what are
you
you doing?
deserve to have it spoiled.
Yeah, it came out like 1982
Yeah.
or 4 or something, yeah.
But, the cool thing about Nightmare on Elm Street is that it really combined, like, obviously something that couldn't actually happen, but, like, we all sleep, right? So, it kind of
Uh-huh.
created that, like, well, I'm gonna go to sleep because that's what we all do, and could it? Combines unrealistic with reality. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast before, but if I had, okay, you're gonna hear it again because I'm gonna tell Lilith. I don't like the first movie of Nightmare on Elm Street, I can't watch by myself. I can watch any other horror movie alone and I'm fine. But the first one, I thought years ago when my kids were younger, my husband was at work, it was late, the kids were in bed, and I thought, I'm an adult, I can do this. So I watched the first Nightmare on Elm Street movie and I went upstairs to go to bed. And I had a nightmare that Freddy Krueger was attacking Katie, who was about 2 at the time.
Oh.
And in my dream, he's going after my daughter, and I guess my husband had come home at this point. So I started, like, kinda making some noise, like, kinda like panic noises in the bed, and the girls' room was right next to us. So I woke Katie up, and Katie started to cry. So her cry, it came into that dream, like she's
Oh.
terrified, he's really gonna get her. So, in the dream, he goes to jump onto her little toddler bed, and hear her crying. So, in the dream, I jump on him, right? And
Badass
I know,
mama.
I
that's some mama bear
I
shit right
woke
there.
up I woke up because I was flailing around in the bed that I flipped off of the bed and landed on my stomach on the floor, and I sat up and opened my eyes, and if you remember the movies, if you're holding on to Freddy in a dream and you wake up, you pull him out of the
Mhm.
dream with you.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And I sat up and I was, like, on the floor and I was looking around like, "Holy shit, is he really here?" Like, I had that
Well, no
moment where
wonder
it
you
was
don't
like,
like it and won't
"Oh
watch
my
it. I
god."
mean
So and then I hear Katie crying, so I run in there and she's just, like, in her bed, upset. My husband's like, "What the hell was that?"
Oh my god.
'Cause from his perspective, it must have seemed
Well,
really weird, but
I don't
yeah.
fault
Yeah.
you at all for not wanting to ever watch that movie ever again. I wouldn't either.
No.
That is not a good memory associated
Yeah.
with that movie.
But like you're saying, though, it did pull into that aspect of we all sleep
Yeah.
and we all
Yeah.
dream, and to the point where when I woke up, I actually had the thought, "Did I pull him out of my dream with me?"
And I would have thought the
Wow.
same, thing as well. I suffer from very vivid and mostly terrifying dreams, so I can completely relate to you on that one. Yeah, I probably wouldn't wanna fuck
Yeah.
with that movie ever
Yeah.
again.
Well, I'm gonna be the one that reins us
Let's do
back
it.
in from our
Yes.
ADHD
Yes, please.
tangents and back to Insidious.
Okay.
Doesn't happen very often that I'm the one
Yeah,
stepping
I
out,
love it.
but
Yeah.
occasionally. So, Lilith, why do you think the further in Insidious is such a terrifying concept?
Because I believe that we are inhabiting our bodies. We are spirits, we are beings, whatever name you want to put on it. We are not our bodies. We have our bodies, right? We run our bodies. Eventually, when we die, we pass on. And I believe in reincarnation. And I think that is what's going on with our physicality and whatnot, or life in general. So to me, what's scary about it is like it's real. There's people that have, reported that they've left their bodies before and come back. There's
Yeah.
reports of people being able to, yes, go to sleep and they see something happen to one of their family members 3 states away. And like there's crazy stories out there of people being able to go exterior from their meat sack. you know? So that is entering a different alternate reality. It's a different realm. It's a different
Yeah.
plane. It's a different world than the one that we're living in that is so physical and so mass and so like everything that you can touch. So that's again combining something that is unrealistic with but is it?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So that's very scary in itself.
The fact too in the movie, spoiler alert, don't fast forward if you don't wanna hear this. The fact that the dad leaves his meat sack,
Yeah.
and while he's out of his meat sack, something else
Mhm.
inhabits his meat sack, and then he's
Right.
stuck there. Like, that
Yeah.
is a
That's, I think, the
terrifying
most
concept.
terrifying part for
The
me.
idea
Yeah.
of you leaving your post and that something else could come and claim it.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, if you haven't watched the movie, it's been 15 years, you deserve to have it spoiled for you. It's also such a massive franchise, come on.
Yeah.
It's so stress inducing and you're like, get back, get back, claim that's yours. That there's nothing more
Yeah.
yours. There's nothing that is so violating. Like that is the most
Yes.
violating. And so, yeah, that
Yeah.
Yeah.
the anxiety that you feel specifically in that scene where you're just like, faster, Forrest, run, run.
Yeah.
So it's like very it gets you involved too with them. Like that's another thing that I love about the Insidious movies that you're so I don't I it's hard for me to put down my phone or work while I'm watching something. I'm always mostly working while watching something, but there are
Same.
certain movies that I'm like, this is the time to put it all down and just focus and be very invested and involved. And that's one Insidious and the Insidious franchise to me are those types of movies where you're just like, okay, suck me in, bring me into the further.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the
Right.
subtle flashes of, like the red face demon. That scene, when we first saw the red face demon, we're sitting there watching it, and all of a sudden you see his face, and I literally shouted, yes!
Yeah.
Yes! We rewound that about 5 times. We paused it on his face. We were like, look at his face! Like it were the greatest gift that I had been, again, I can't, there's certain movies, there's only a number of them where I go, that moment right there, I will never forget that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think for me, it was always fascinating. I have gotten close from what I've researched, to actually astral project. Like, I have all the signs and symptoms that it's about to happen, and then, like, it doesn't. Like, I get sucked back in. But I've always wanted to, and I actively try. And then I watch this movie, and I'm like, maybe not. But then I still do. I still want to. I think just the idea of being able to go
Yeah.
anywhere and, like, see anything in astral form fascinates
Sure.
me.
So, Lilith, we have a listener named Birdie. Hi, Birdie.
Hi, Birdie.
And Birdie can astral project. And
Wow.
Yeah.
one day I was in the podcast room and I was getting something done and I stopped and I just kind of was looking around and I went, "Hi, Birdie." Right? And I was like, okay. It was a weird moment. And I went back to what I was doing.
I do just want to preface this with, we did give Birdie permission to check in on us
Yes.
because we have the haunted dolls, and Birdie's also, like, kind of sensitive and can pick up on that stuff. So we were like, "Hey, can you check out these dolls and let us know?" So we did give
Right.
general permission for her to come, like, check in on us and
Yeah,
that.
she's
She's
not a
not
creep.
just randomly creeping on
She
us.
And this is the room that I have all my dolls in.
Right.
Right? So I stopped and I was like, "Hi, Birdie."
Yeah. She's
And I was
not
like, "That's
she's
really
not
weird."
Clay Akening you guys where she's just like standing outside
No.
peering through your window.
Okay. No.
Saying invisible.
Yeah, if I was
Oh,
invisible.
yeah.
That's
But like the next day, I get a message from her on Discord and she says, "You are very perceptive." And I
No,
was
I
like,
think
"What are
she
you
actually
talking
said,
about?"
"You are intuitive as fuck."
That might have been what she said. And I was like, "What are you
That's what
talking
you
about?"
told me she said.
And she said, "You said hi, Birdie." And I was like, "I did. Yes."
Oh,
That was
I
very surreal for me.
it's
But
very perceptive,
yeah,
extremely perceptive. I think that we are told there's 7 perceptions, right? 7? Is it it's not 6, is it 6?
I'm not sure.
they say 6, but we have so
6,
much more than
7,
that.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't even know because I don't believe in that at all. We have
Yeah.
so many more perceptions than has been quote unquote scientifically proven. So I think that yeah, that's just a perception again, or an ability, if you will, that some people have.
Yeah, it's very weird, but it's weird that she knew what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
You
I
know?
validating part
mean,
to me. Yeah.
that right there, you just go, well, it's real. I mean,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
yeah,
How can
that's
you not? That's
wild.
proof. Yeah.
Wild. Oof.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I love it.
All right, well, we want to hear about your paranormal experiences.
Okay, so where do I begin? I have a few. So my parents lived actually just recently moved out of this house 2 years ago, but we had the same child like I think we moved in when I was about 10 years old and they had the house for I don't know 25, 30 years. And it was an older home and their activity went on in this house. One of the most vivid experiences I had was I want to say 15, and I was sleeping in my bedroom. And the way that the house was kind of laid out was there was 3 bedrooms on the main floor, including the living room and the kitchen. And then underneath the house was kind of this downstairs. We just called it the downstairs room. It was kind of like a basement turned into a room, like they had renovated it and turned it into a room for my brother. And then we had a full on attic with the stairs, and you can go up into it. And that's where lots of things were stored. Now, the attic was above my room,
Of course.
of course. And I was always afraid of the attic. I can recall being a very little girl and anytime the attic was open, like if my mom was putting things up there or whatever, I instinctually avoided it as much as like I would run like if I had to cross from the bathroom like into the kitchen and there's this little hall where you pull down the stairs, if she was in it, I would run as fast as I could. And it was just something about it, like I was repelled from it. And if my mom was like asking me, hey, can you go up into the attic and grab blah or put this away? I would start sweating. Like I would get I'm like thinking about it right now. I'm actually starting to squirm a little bit.
Oh,
There was something about it that I was horrified of. So I was about 15 years old and oh, sorry, backtrack. I had a cat growing up. Her name was Emma. And I had Emma for about 20 years. It was one of these cats. She was just my everything. I had her since I was 10 years old. She was my cat. And I was very connected to this cat. So the cat, Emma, would sleep sometimes outside and sometimes she would sleep inside. It was whatever her preference was. She would, like, if she wanted to sleep inside that night, she'd come to the door and scratch, scratch, scratch. We'd let her in. But she was an inside and an outside cat. And this particular night, she did not ask to come inside. So she was not inside the house, she was outside the house. But I had forgotten this. So I'm laying in bed and I wake up because Emma is running around the room. And if she slept inside, she slept in my room. So she's running around the room and it's driving me insane. I'm like, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. And she's jumping up on the bed and then she's jumping down. And she's jumping back up on the bed, running across my legs, running around the room. And I'm like, oh my God, Emma, please stop. Like, stop. So she jumps on the bed and she comes up and she's sniffing me. And I'm like, oh my God, like, cats. Ah. And she gets on my chest. And then I feel her fur on my neck. I go to push her off and nothing is there.
That's terrifying.
Nothing is there, and I'm laying there, and it takes me a minute to remember Emma did not ask to come inside tonight.
That's crazy.
Emma is not in the room. There's something else in the room. So I'm laying there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to count to 3, and I'm noping the fuck out of here. So I went 1, 2, 3, and I bolted out of the room and into my parents' room and woke them up. I was shaking and crying, and my mom was like, you just had a bad dream. And I was like, no, there's something in my room. So my dad goes and he inspects up. There's nothing there. And I ended up actually sleeping on the floor of my parents' room for the next like 8 days. I wouldn't sleep in that room. I
wow.
was too scared to. So there was that. And then the other thing that happened when I was a child that really sticks out to me was there was this one day where I had been cleaning the house. My mom was out of town and I forget why I was home. I think must have been the weekend or whatever, but I was doing my chores and cleaning the house and I finished cleaning and I make a little lunch and I get up and I sit up on our little bar that we had near our kitchen and I start eating and I look in the kitchen and it's spotless, but it's kind of driving my OCD is kicking in a little bit and it's driving me a little crazy that the cupboard doors are open. So I look back down, I start eating my food, I look back up and the cupboard door is shut.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
So wait,
I had the same thing happen in my old house.
This is twofold. So then where was it? The reflection thing. Again, this is why I nope the fuck out if I see something behind me and like a reflection. I saw something walk past, like I was looking at not a mirror. It was there was this giant picture that was in our kitchen, like to the left. And we had a back porch. It's called a Florida room with these French doors right behind me. And I saw something move past it, like in the reflection of the picture frame. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And this is where it was confirmed though. So I tell my dad, there's something here. And of course, my parents are very understanding. And he's like, well, let's just tell it to go away. Like not making me feel crazy, not making me feel dumb. Like we can just tell this whatever entity or whatever it is, like we're not interested and you're not going to get what you want out of us. that evening, my mom's friend who lived like 3 streets up comes by. Again, my mom's out of town to talk to just say hello. And my dad opens the door and she goes, "Hey, and I just want to say hi, blah, blah, blah." And my dad was like, "Oh, she's not here right now. She's out of town. She's going to be back in like a couple days." She goes, "Don't lie to me. I just saw her walk by on the back porch."
That's creepy. That's creepy.
No, because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like a doppelganger or a mimic or no.
Right. I just
Mm-mm.
saw, and then my dad came and told me this, and he goes, "I just want you to know, like, I want you to feel validated that you're not."
Yeah.
You're not crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't like that at all.
So, yeah, those were 2 very distinct moments in my life where I was like, "Oh, we are not alone."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, there's been like feelings of feeling presences. There's a hotel here called the Biltmore Hotel, which is actually
Oh, yeah.
yeah, a
Yeah.
haunted hotel that as a kid, we thought it would like we would run the halls of it, and there's certainly like a feeling of being watched and all of that. But, the 2 stories I told are 2 like their experiences I'll never forget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's crazy.
it is. I love it. I love it. And
Yeah. Are you ready for the rapid fire questions?
yeah. Okay. Let me get a sip of water. Okay. Hit
Okay.
me with it.
The first question is, what's scarier, a haunted doll or a haunted mirror?
I would say a haunted mirror because, again, this goes back to being able to see things in reflections.
Yeah.
I feel like a haunted doll you could get rid of more easily with no attachment. I mean, unless it just keeps appearing back in your home, which in that case, we should just try
Yeah.
again. I don't know.
It's the doll's home now.
Yeah, you move out. The
Yeah.
mirror, it feels like it would be hard to get rid of because if it breaks or something, I feel like then there's some superstitious attachment there. So yeah, I would say a mirror for sure because I feel like a mirror could also mirrors are also there's lore behind them, like if they open up different realms, like you can't really put like a
Right.
blanket or a carpet over a mirror. That's supposed to be considered, like a gateway for
Yeah.
demons and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So for sure a mirror. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Werewolf or vampire? You have to survive one encounter. Which would you rather choose?
I don't want to survive. I want a vampire to bite me and turn me into a vampire. I just no
Oh,
surviving in
That's
this
fair.
scenario at all.
that's awesome.
Love
That's
it.
an awesome
Yeah.
answer.
Love that
Definitely
answer.
vampire.
Would you rather spend the night in a cemetery or an abandoned asylum?
Okay, cemetery for sure. And here's why. We're freaks and we almost bought a house that was literally on a cemetery because we wanted the house because it was in a cemetery.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
Cemet-
I
yeah.
would want a house because it was in a cemetery too.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, cemeteries are I find to be beautiful and I grew up watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which literally every episode opens with Buffy in a cemetery. So I actually find them to be quite comforting. I actually shot part of my next music video in a cemetery.
Oh,
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah,
yeah.
definitely a
We
cemetery.
love them.
Yeah,
We love them too. When we travel, we always find ourselves finding old cemeteries and walking around them.
they're
And
so
yeah,
beautiful. They're so beautiful. Yeah, and asylums, like, oh my God, no. Just absolutely no, nope, 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 no.
I'd pick the asylum.
so I would absolutely do both. I would do
Me
both.
too.
Yeah.
You would?
But I would do the
Yeah.
asylum first if I had to choose.
Yeah.
Just because if
You
I'm
would
spending
spend
the
the
night
night in a
somewhere, I don't wanna be outside. I live in Florida, so to me, I'm immediately thinking it's gonna be miserable outside, so that's why I go
yeah.
haunted
I
asylum.
just I think that like asylums, the energy that's stored there because of
Oh,
the
yeah.
pain and torture and
Uh-huh.
misery that is inflicted on people is like that versus a cemetery where it's peaceful and it's, where you go to rest. Like they're so different in terms of
Different
energy.
vibes for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we would definitely wanna do it to experience something at the asylum.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would
Well,
be the motivation
you
for us.
do that and then report back to me and
Okay.
let me know
Okay,
We will.
awesome. Alright, so have you ever tried a Ouija board? And if not, would you?
Mhm. I have not tried a Ouija board. I absolutely would.
Okay.
1000%. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. Also, great movie. Loved Ouija.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
I
Oh,
haven't
I'm gonna have to
either.
watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
watch them. I
Yeah.
think there's a couple. I think there's 2.
Okay.
I don't I've only seen them once, so I'm not an expert on them, but I do remember being very entertained.
Okay. Next question. Do you believe in past lives?
Yeah, I think I've already
Okay.
answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There.
I feel like we carry too much baggage as humans for this to be the only life that we've
Yeah.
ever had. I think
Agreed.
that, I find there to be a correlation and a connection to the thoughts and feelings we have in this life that we are unaware of things that have happened in our past. I think that we all of a sudden you're sad or all of a sudden you're upset. And to me, I go, well, that could be connected to something that I am completely unaware of that I forgot. I just feel like we have such a connection well, I feel like our minds are such a large space where things that have happened to us are stored that we are unaware of. Obviously, I can't remember my past lives, but
Yeah.
I tend to believe that there's so much going on in our minds and there's so much we don't know about our minds that affect us in the present. So for me, my answer to that is, well, I have lived before this life and I've probably experienced so much loss and pain, but good things and scary things and things that my mind is recording and but I don't really have access to. So I don't know why it is that I feel that way. So for me to feel like I understand myself and understand what I'm doing here and how and why as I go, this isn't my only life.
Yeah.
And that to me feels grounding and like I've got a little bit of an answer that I can hold on to as to why I may experience things at points where I'm wondering why do I feel that way or why am I
Right.
experiencing this?
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
So the next one is, would you rather see an apparition or hear a disembodied voice?
No, I was actually going to say one of my answers when you said like what would make you nope the fuck out of there. I've already said the apparition thing, but a voice. Okay. So we've looked this up and it is a thing that some people experience when they're falling asleep. There is an actual term for it. I forget what the terminology is, but it's when you're in the state of not fully asleep, but not awake. So you're like about to get there. And I've experienced this more times than I can count. Okay. I will be falling asleep and I'll hear Juliet, or I'll hear,
Um,
what are you doing? I will hear a voice. And this is there is a scientific explanation for this and a name. It escapes me at this moment, but or I'll hear a clap
oh.
right next to my ear. And it
Mm.
is so jarring. It is, every time I, eyes open, heart racing, but so yes, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
Imagine being fully awake and then hearing a voice, like you're home alone and then hearing a voice from the other room being like, like,
Yeah, I've had it happen.
Yeah.
It's happened.
what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
no, no, no,
I
no.
lived in a house for 15 years that had a lot of activity in it. So yeah.
Yeah.
But it's usually it doesn't feel scary when it happens. It's usually like, "What the fuck was that?" Or, "Did you hear that?" Or,
Right. Right.
Oh, dude.
Yep.
No. Okay.
Next question. Do you think the government is hiding proof of the paranormal?
Yeah, of course. They're hiding so much shit from us.
Yeah. They're hiding
Yeah.
everything. They're
Absolutely.
hiding
They're hiding
everything.
aliens. They're hiding, yeah, come on, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I
Yep,
think
definitely.
I think again, you cannot quote me because I read something a while back about that there was actually money put into experiments. Oh, I have to look it up now. There was something a while back where the government was putting money into experiments to see something about not
Was it
assassin.
remote
It was
viewing?
remote
I think I've
viewing.
heard that, yeah. Yep.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I think that they may have discovered some stuff through those trials and through those tests and stuff that they're not gonna let us know about because they want us to not know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. So, yeah, for sure.
All right. So, what is your go-to comfort movie after a scary film?
Oh, another scary film.
Another scary film? Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what it is, but nothing makes me happier in
Same.
this world than crawling in the bed with my cats, snacks, my husband, and scary movies. It is my happy
Yeah.
place. That's why I work. It's what I it's what I work towards.
Yeah.
I work hard so I can be in that bed with
Yeah.
my cats and my snacks and my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we watch a scary movie and I go, all right, what's the next one that we can find?
Some people will watch like a comedy afterwards to kind of
To
make them not as,
unscrew
scary.
themselves. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I find that I like that place.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
fair.
Yeah, when I discovered I can't believe it took me this long to discover this franchise too, but the Hell House LLC franchise. I don't know if you guys
Mhm.
have you watched those movies?
And I've heard about it, but I haven't watched the movie.
Okay. All right, but Jen, you're gonna hate it because it's found footage.
Okay, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're not gonna like it, but they're great. And the last one that they did, the I believe it's the fourth one, I wanna say, was among one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm
Really?
just gonna put that up. Yeah, the last one of the Hell House LLC movies is horrifying. Like, as experts on the paranormal, this is homework. You should watch these
Okay,
movies.
okay.
I absolutely
'Cause
will.
that's
Yeah.
what the entire plot of these movies are. So we watched the first one night, and it was disturbing as hell, and when I found out 5 minutes later that there was another one, and then there was another one, and that there was another
Mhm.
I was like, "You put it?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Mhm.
What is the first horror movie you ever remember watching?
Okay, was it The Shining or was it Poltergeist? It or was it The Exorcist? So when we were little, my dad was the good cop, my mom was the bad cop. My dad, because my mom worked a lot at nights, so he was like Blockbuster, ice cream, what movie do
Yeah.
you yeah, well, fuck yeah, we'll put on the Shining, you little 7-year-old. You wanna watch that? Sure.
Yep.
So, I want to say it was The Shining, was the first scary
Right.
movie I'd
Okay.
ever seen. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. No, it was the Poltergeist, and then it was The Shining, and the reason memories are flooding back, because I remember asking my dad, "Are all scary movies this scary?"
Mhm.
And then it was The Shining, and then he had found out, like, facts about the poltergeist and how the little girl, like, when she came through the ceiling, they lathered her in jelly, and because I was so scared, that's right, I was so scared about that movie that he was like, hey, guess what I learned about, what was her name? Joanne or something? I forget the little girl's name in Poltergeist.
Carol Ann.
Carol Ann, thank you. He said that Carol Ann, that they asked her if she would prefer to be, slimed basically with ketchup or with jam, and she chose jam. And so learning that little bit about the actress
Yeah.
choosing the jam because it was sweeter and yummier made me feel a lot less afraid of the movie.
Okay.
And so then
Yeah.
after I got over that, I was like, okay, I'm ready for my next one, Dad.
Yeah.
And
What's
that's
next?
love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because I go back and forth between the Entity and Poltergeist, and I can't remember which one was first.
Yeah.
It was probably the Entity,
Okay.
Mine
but
was definitely The Exorcist.
yeah, and Jen
Okay.
can't watch it to this
I
day.
Oh,
I
you
still can't
can't?
to this day. No, I won't. I've never rewatched it, and I won't. Like, I don't. There's just something about it that I
Yeah.
just. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Have you watched?
I probably would watch it now and be like, "Oh my god, this is the worst
It's
special effects I've ever
hilarious.
seen in my life." But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it is, now I have rewatched The Shining. I have rewatched Poltergeist and Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason and all of that. And now I guess it's because I'm so desensitized and I'm like, well, until his head's being ripped off and he's flying in the air and spitting out bats from his armpits and they're
Right.
crawling into the center of the earth and demonic, like,
yeah,
you know, now I watch those movies and it's comedic.
yeah,
I like it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I already know the answer to this, so what you would say. Do you think that animals can see ghosts?
Oh, for sure. Where do you think your cat is
Yeah.
looking when you pick him up and he looks straight up to the sun or straight up to the
100%.
sky? Yeah. Every time Crow does that, Andy and I, like at the same time, are like, well, he's looking at the ghosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And our last rapid fire question is, what is your favorite spooky season tradition?
I'm trying to think of a more like creative answer other than watching scary movies back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
That's fair.
That's
Uh,
one of my favorites.
yeah, I mean, I love I love going to Target and Home Goods and Walmart and Kirkland's and Hobby Lobby because that's when they get all of their like scary decor. Like that's when you can finally find, you know, black velvet pillows and
Yes.
you
Yeah, the stuff you want all year,
All
but you
year
just
round.
can't find it.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
like weird candelabra sticks. Like that's
Yes.
when you can
Yeah.
go and find the dark decor that you
Yeah.
create in your soul. So that's definite like when spooky season comes around, we're like, all right, time to hit the
Let's
spots.
go.
At Home Goods, I found we use it as a fruit bowl at Halloween, and it looks like a cauldron, but it's held up by 3 hands,
Love
like
it.
3 black
Oh, I
hands
love it.
holding it up.
Yeah.
Yesterday we were at Home Goods and I would have bought it had we not just bought like a fruit and vegetable tier tray that you see back there.
Yeah.
There was one that was spider webs.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, do we get, and he's like, we just bought. And I was like, I know, but it's spider webs.
Yeah. But this one's better.
Yeah. I just hosted I have this book club with my friends, and I just hosted last week. And it's at this point, it's still September. I know this episode comes out in October, but so I'm already decorated, fully decorated for Halloween. And they all came over and were like loving all my decorations. And a couple of them had not been to my apartment yet. And I said we should play a game, like for you guys to go around and guess which decor is specifically up just for Halloween versus what is a permanent feature of my apartment, because
I love that.
Right.
most
That's
of it's the permanent feature.
sure.
Right.
Oh yeah, same. No, I'm not here to put things up and then take them down. I don't know about you guys. I don't have that time.
No.
I don't got
Right.
that kind of, and not to mention, I want to be in a scary movie. I want my life to be a scary movie. I want that corner to feel haunted. I want people to come in and be like, "Oh, you guys definitely worship the devil." Like
Exactly.
Yes. Absolutely.
we literally have like a painting. If you look in our front door, we have a painting of Saturn devouring his children.
Oh, I love that.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah, it's creepy as hell, but we
Yeah.
just that's our aesthetic, and so I love that game though.
Yeah.
Ask your normies to be like,
Yeah. What do I have up all year and what did I put out for Halloween?
Yeah. Exactly.
fantastic.
That's great.
Great.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Oh my god,
Yes.
time flew.
We want to give a special thanks to Lilith Czar for joining us and chatting about her musical journey and all things spooky and paranormal.
Well, thank you both so much for having me. I could talk to the two of you for the rest of the day about all of this type of setup.
Yes.
I could talk more about movies.
I mean, we can do this often. We don't
We
have to
can.
record it. We can just
Yeah.
hang out and talk about it.
We can also have you on again. So that's always an
love-
option.
I would love to be on again, 1000%. This was so enjoyable. I'm very excited for this episode to come out, and I'm excited to see where you guys take this podcast. I'm very excited to see where you guys go with this because I think that it could be absolutely huge, and
Thank you. We hope
I
so.
can't wait. I can't wait to say that I was there
You
from
were.
the
Yeah.
ground up, baby.
But yes.
So thank you both.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Thank you. Are you kidding?
Yes. Absolutely.
My pleasure.
Don't forget to follow us on socials. And you can always join our Patreon if you want even more exclusive content at patreon.com/notmyghost,
Yes. And as we always remind you guys, please send us your spooky stories. You can email us at notmyghostpodcast@gmail.com, and we will be reading them on a future episode of Paranormal Postcards.
Before we wrap up, Lilith, do you want to remind our ghosties where they can find you?
Yes, socials. It's just at Lilith Czar on Twitter, on Threads, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can find my music on all streaming platforms across the internet. Just Lilith Czar. I have music coming up very soon. I have some music that I released earlier this year, and you can find me on patreon.com/Lilith Czar. And yeah, those are all the
Awesome.
Awesome.
all the places. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey into the music, horror, and paranormal experiences of Lilith Czar. Remember, as you wander through the shadows and stories she's shared, keep this in mind.
If it's not your ghost,
It's not your problem.
Until next time, stay spooky.
and stay skeptical.